The data that I've pulled in so far is in a fairly simple format. It's quite raw, and there's actually quite a lot of fields in here that probably I don't need when I'm doing my reporting and visualization. So there's a few things that I might do to optimize that data and make it more usable for either me when I'm building these reports or for anybody else that I share this data with. For example, my date table that I've already pulled in, I've actually got 3 columns here. I've got a month ID, a month name, and a month number, and they basically all show me the same thing. I've just got a field that tells me what month it was and what year it was, and then a column for the name and a column for which number of the year it was. I probably don't need all these. So let's go and start hiding some of these. Well, I can right-click on one of these fields and choose to hide it. And all this does is hide it from the field list here. Just makes it easier for me to work with this data. I'm going to go search through a bunch of different fields to find one that I'm interested in. I can just see it here. Now, if I've already used that field on a report somewhere, it's okay, it hasn't disappeared, it's still in the model. I'll still see it if I go to the data view. It just cleans up that area on the right-hand side. Let's remove that table and build a slightly different visualization. Again, I'm going to look at our sales here by month. Now, in this case, you can see along the bottom of this chart, our months are coming out April, August, December, February, January. So they're coming out in alphabetical order, which is obviously not quite right. And again, fixing that is really simple. All I need to do is select the month name column, and I can choose to sort this column by another field. Up on my modeling ribbon, I've got a button here for sort by column. And I get a drop down. These are the other columns within this table. And I had that month number field. So January corresponds to month number 1, February to 2, March to 3, etc. And I can just say use that column to determine the sorting order for this column. And there we go, I get a really simple chart now that tells me January, February, March, April, May, June in the right order. That sort by can be used in a whole bunch of different ways. Months is obviously a great one, days of the week would be the same. And even if you had things like a product category or a department in your organization, which you always refer to in a particular order, you could use it in that way. The last thing I could do here to make it easier to work with this data when I'm reporting on it is set the data type or format for a particular field. So remember I loaded a date to column, which was a date data type. And when I drag that out into a table, you can see by default we format it with a long date like this, Friday, January the 1st, 1999. I can change the default format for this as well. I come and choose the column from the right-hand side, and then up in the top in the ribbon, I can see a format drop down that gives me a whole range of different format styles for a date. So I can set it to appear as a long text or as a short date, or even something as a kind of a European format. If I was working on data back home, I'd be doing that. When I change that default, you can see the table that I was working with updates automatically. I could also change the data type. If I had a number and I wanted to define whether it had decimals in it or was a whole number, and you get different formats for different data types. So if I was working with a decimal field, I could set it to be a currency, and it would always come up with a dollar symbol or a pound symbol, depending on what sort of currency you were working with. So data types and formats are also a good way to just optimize your data and optimize your model for easier reporting.